Hey y'all, one more again. What's good with you? Good afternoon. Glad y'all could stop by here real quick and hear me run my mouth about some things that's going on here leading up to the election. And one of the biggest things I want to talk about is this whole Supreme Court thing. And I have some of you know I've kind of delved into it just a little bit, not a whole lot. And I've given my opinions on it, but I'm going to throw some context in there for people so you people understand what exactly what has happened, what is happening, and point out the complete hypocrisy to the precedent that has been set over the last century or so. So again, I appreciate y'all coming through and doing all that fun stuff. And before we get started, if you have not done so yet, please, when you get a quick chance, check out our Patreon page. You can go over to donate.bpmg.us. You see there's a few membership levels there that you can subscribe to get content. We have an exclusive podcast over there called The Constitutionalist Quill. And that basically breaks down all of the articles and amendments in the Constitution and by its history, by the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. So make sure you guys go check that out, donate.bpmg.us. I greatly appreciate you guys on that one. So the story I have for you today comes out of Axios. Let's get this mad mamma jamma was coming out of Axios here. Democrats Armageddon option. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. I mean, it's all too legit to quit, guys. It is all too legit, man. This whole thing it literally is no longer the nuclear option, people. It's literally Chernobyl, right? Those of you that are old enough remember Chernobyl. I was like 11 at the time when Chernobyl happened. The reactor number 4 had kind of did its thing and leaked out whatever. We're past that. We're past Armageddon. We're at Chernobyl right now. The complete meltdown is real over this. We're going to hop into this and see what this Armageddon option that Axios is writing about. So let's read through this real quick. Furious Democrats are considering total war, profound changes to 2 branches of government, and even adding stars to the flag if Republicans jam through a Supreme Court nominee, then lose control of the Senate. We'll keep going. On the table, adding Supreme Court justices, eliminating the Senate's 60-vote threshold to end filibusters, and statehood for D.C. and Puerto Rico. And quoting Joe Kennedy, he tweeted, "If he holds a vote in 2020, we pack the court in 2021. Y'all got to be laughing with me on this one, y'all. Y'all got to be laughing with me because I just find this completely hilarious. You know what I'm saying? You're going to put everything back in place that Harry Reid destroyed so that you could get things through, etc., right? Now, as the article says, why does it matter? Democrats are enraged by GOP hypocrisy by rushing through a new justice for President Trump after stalling Obama's final nominee, which, his nominee was Merrick Garland, right? But see, let's throw some context in this a second, right? Just so everybody kind of understands what's going down here, right? The process that is provided, right, for the president to nominate a Supreme Court appointee, right? Obviously written in the Constitution, it involves just the Senate, not the House. Now, I don't know why Nancy Pelosi has her 2 cents in it, because her 2 cents doesn't matter, right? Or her $2 or whatever you want to call it, right? And, the advisory consent, it lays strictly with the Senate. Right. And again, that's what we talked about the filibuster there, right? As you see over there on the screen, talked about the whole filibuster, but which they do have the right to do. But when the president belongs to one political party and the Senate is controlled by another, right? The process is obviously not easy, as we saw with Merrick Garland, right? Now, in recent years, okay, Anthony Kennedy and what was the other justice's name? David Souter were nominated by Republican presidents and confirmed by a Democrat-controlled Senate. But if you want to be honest, let's be honest about this. If you want to find a Supreme Court nominee from a Democrat president confirmed by a Republican controlled Senate, we had to go all the way back to 1895. Okay. The last Supreme Court nominee to come from a president whose party, the parties were were opposite was Clarence Thomas, actually, right? Back in 1991. And his nomination was by George H.W. Bush, right? And the Democrats had 55 seats in the Senate. And compared to the Republicans, obviously, they only had like 40, 45 at that time. And it took 11 Democrats flipped their vote to vote for Thomas in this nomination. Now we know the rope a dope and all that good stuff when it came to Clarence Thomas and all that, and hopefully Thomas and the Kavanaugh thing doesn't happen again with Amy Coney Barrett. But then again, as they said, as you read, everything is on and off the table, right? They only say that in you know what I mean, in so many different words. So let's keep going here, y'all. The Democrats aren't optimistic about blocking the nominee, but they have many ways of retaliating if they win Senate control, and are licking their chops about real movement on ideas that have been pushed futilely for decades. Now we know the Constitution. We know the Constitution doesn't fix a set number of Supreme Court justices, right? So that's what it is, right? And just the basically the innate threats from the House, right? With Nancy Pelosi, well, we have our options. We have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss right now. Yeah, we know what the plot is, fam. We know what the plot is. I'm not going to go through the rest of this whole thing, but this whole thing right here, y'all, this is just complete. This is complete insanity. It really is. It's complete insanity. I mean, what did they think was going to happen? What did they think was going to happen if when the parties were opposite? And now that they're saying, what do you think is going to happen? Unless the rhinos decide that they want to, buck the grain, right? And not vote for Amy Coney Barrett, and that's fine, right? That's whatever. That's on their conscience if they vote like that and go against their voter base, for the reason they were put in there by their base, right? So, we just we have to keep calling out the facts on this stuff. We gotta stay legit, right? The other thing about making DC and Puerto Rico a state, I want to address that real quick too, right? Because that's an asinine statement too. You know what I mean, guys? It's completely asinine. I mean, DC is the way it is for a reason, because the framers didn't want the national seat to be influenced by a state. And again, if DC became a state, it would have influence on federal politics. That is the reason why DC is autonomous. That's why it's basically an autonomous zone, right? It doesn't belong to anyone for many reasons. And the people that want DC to be a state is very disingenuous, right? They're very disingenuous. I mean, we can make DC a state. We just move the federal seat. We move it somewhere else. The United States Congress can use Article 4 of the Constitution to create new states. They own the land out west. They can move the federal seat out west if they wanted to, if they want to make DC a state. But DC being its own state with the federal legislature there is just, it's bad news. It's bad news set up for even more corruption than it's already there. We know this. You know this. The people that want DC to be a state know this too. They're just being intellectually dishonest when it comes to this. Now, as far as the Puerto Rico thing is concerned, you know what? They've been a territory of the United States for how long? I mean, North Mariana Island, same way. I'm not opposed to them, being either one of those being a state. Not opposed to it, or Guam, not opposed to it. They are part of our union, and our laws dictate, over them. It's almost, literally like a commonwealth, right? Kind of like how England was over Canada for so long, before they, basically got their independence. So I'm okay. I'm okay with them being states, but they have to make sure they bring something to the table like the other states in the union do. So that's all for me. Let me know what you guys think, your opinions on this. Leave them down in the comments, or on the Periscope, or on the YouTube, etc. And we'll have a chat about this back and forth. So until next time, y'all, be easy, stay well, and we'll catch you on later on today. Peace.